Hi, everybody. Welcome to George Wallace Day. And with George, hi, George. How are you today?
I feel so good because I'm going to get $100. Joseph Biden's going to give me $100. I'm going to get another shot. How are you
doing? Welcome to George Wallace Day on What You Need to Know. It is What You Need to Know headlines. And our special guest today, I am so excited. One is an old friend, and one is a woman that I've admired for so very long. And so grateful to have her.
You know about this lady, Sybil? You actually know about her?
Yes, she is amazing, and her name is Sylvia Traymore Morrison. As you can see, welcome, Your Highness. How are you?
Oh my God, you think you're excited? I'm just about to pass out right about now. I'm well. Thanks for asking.
Oh, you are so welcome, and so welcome here. Thank you so much. She is a master at comedy and has done so much over the years. And once we talk about her history, we will get into that. But I do want to welcome back an old friend. Hello, Tony Roberts. How are you?
Hey, people, how y'all doing? I'd like to say hello to Dr. Sylvia Traymore.
That's right.
Traymore.
That's right.
Traymore Morrison.
Yes.
An old friend. He looks young, but he is definitely old, Sybil. I'm telling you, this guy is the oldest young man in showbiz.
And you know what? I saw him. He was on a show in the Baltimore area a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, and he was late. But let me explain this. He was late, but he had reason to be late. His plane was delayed, and nobody bothered him. Nobody said a word about him being late. They were not trying to get in touch and get
Sylvia, he lived in San Francisco and did radio every morning. He said his plane was late. He actually lived in the same city.
Y'all don't know. In about 5 minutes, somebody about to come and feed George. His caregiver about to come feed him.
No, the producer's not supposed to laugh. The producer's supposed to sit in the back and shut the hell up. Don't listen to this.
Hilarious.
Now, this is Sybil. This is the show that I don't even know what to do with. We got a lady here, the first lady. You're going to get into history, but you got Tony. This is one of the funniest people I know in the world. He just knocks me out. I've had to follow him. I had to follow him many nights on stage, and I just go to hell with it. I just walk out.
No, you
didn't. We have two of the three funniest people in the world on here today. So I want to thank you all, Tony and Miss Sylvia, and Dr. Sylvia. First of all, let me just give a little bit of your history, Sylvia Traymore Morrison.
She don't even know what to say. This is so good. You don't even know how to present it. Go ahead, Sylvia. You're the best.
Well, because you really are your history is a veritable who's who, not only in entertainment, not only in comedy, but in the world. You're an incredible impressionist, as we know. And as a result, your impressions have taken you to experiences and relationships with people like, how do you say that Red Fox was your first manager? How do you say? How does that happen? What kind of talent is that you're asked to open for Whitney Houston back in the day? It's just like everybody working in Saturday Night Live, the very first Black woman there.
Say that again.
And being a part of a writing staff with Belushi and all those guys, but you brought the color, you brought the flavor, and with Garrett Morris and folks like that. It's just, I'm telling you, it is, and you've written all about it too. You have a book. If people want to find out more about you that they don't find out today. It is just. Let me just ask you this. First of all, how did this all start?
Tony, will you call back next week?
Where does it begin?
Tony, will you call back next week? We got a lot to talk about with Sylvia. Could you call back next week, Tony?
You can take George out, and Tony, if you want to stay, you're welcome.
It's simple. And take me out too, right?
Well, to answer to your question, Sybil, I used to could hear when I was like 5 years old. bumblebees, and I could hear the flapping of a butterfly's wings. I don't know where that came from. I can't tell you that, but I could also imitate those sounds. I could tell you if a bee was on its way in flight. I could tell you. My sister, who's like a Yoda, she would say, "No, you can't. How can you hear a bumblebee? How can you hear butterfly wings?" I said, "I don't know, but there's a butterfly that's about to fly right over here." And sure enough,
a butterfly.
A butterfly. And I started imitating my neighbors, and then I was watching one of 4 channels on television because I'm celebrating 52 years this year. Gosh. 52. And my first impression was a professional impression was Ed Sullivan. Now a lot of people may not even know who Ed Sullivan is, but
I know.
And at the time, you have to remember, during those times, there weren't many females that looked like me that were popular enough for me to do impressions of. So I was doing people like Lily Tomlin, Jane Hathaway from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Mr. Clopper, Jethro, Illinois.
Hello, Jethro.
And so I started progressing, and Diana Ross. Oh my God, Diana Ross. And then I found Tina Turner, and I started doing these imitations of these people, and I had no platform, none. I mean, nowhere for me to go and say. There were no comedy clubs. There was no. It was just.
Well, let me ask you that. Since you said that, being a lady, I mean, they're tough on ladies right now. I think the female comedian is the toughest person in the world. But back then, it must have been really bad.
George, it was so bad back then. And quite frankly, I didn't care. I wanted to get a stage. I wanted a microphone because I needed to show the world that I could do these impressions.
Right.
Female impressionists, because I could sing. I started out singing, but I realized that there are a whole bunch of singers, but how many impressionists are there?
Right.
So I started going around to little places, and finally I saw where they were holding the Miss Black America pageant. Oh, wow. Because I couldn't be in the Miss America pageant because rule number 7 said in order to be a Miss America contestant, you have to be Caucasian. So we couldn't enter the Miss America pageant. You just couldn't even enter it. So the Miss Black America pageant was formed by J. Morris Anderson. And to make a very long story, wonderful story short, which is in my book, I entered the pageant, and guess who I tied with?
Who?
Bernadette Stannis.
Oh my God!
Thelma from Good Times. Yeah.
Thelma? You was doing it like
now
that?
You got Tony.
You was doing it like that? I mean, you can still get it. I mean, but damn, you a Thelma?
Tony. But so Bernadette and I tied, and that night she got the card to come and interview for Good Times, and they sent me to Europe to entertain the American troops, which is where Red Fox saw me. He heard about me. He didn't see me because we didn't have all this wonderful stuff that we have today. Right. Because he read magazines and newspapers about some black chick that's over in Europe entertaining the American troops, and she's a wonderful impressionist. And he said, "Really? I want to meet her." So he made arrangements for me to fly out to LA because he wanted to see if I could really do all that the magazines and newspapers were talking about.
Sure.
And he signed me on the spot. Because I had to, he set me in front of 8 people. Here I am just leaving Europe, entertaining crowds of 13,000 American men and women in uniform. And I come back and he says, "Let's see what you got." And there's 8 people sitting in front of me. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have an audience. What are they,
Right. This 8 people.
Did you ever do impression of Red Fox in front of him?
Yeah, did you?
I did not, because he was such a serious person. There was no comedy. He didn't bring no He was like, how long you been doing this?
Yeah.
And it was such an honor to just be there, to just be in front of him performing. But he had his, and I didn't have a lawyer, nothing. I just got the ink pen and I said, "It's Red Fox."
That's right. I would have too.
I signed it.
I would have did it sitting in his lap. I would have hugged him. Yes, sign me.
And so,
Tony, let me ask you, while we're getting into the beginning in the early days, what was your beginning? Was it in school? Were you the funny kid?
My mother was too hard on me. I was never a class clown, but around my immediate friends in the neighborhood, I was funny, but I always had to be right in school. And I didn't know, I did 10 years in the Army before I did comedy.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I came out of high school right in the Army. I did 10 years. Then I came out and had job after job after job. I get 1 or 2 checks. I go right to the mall and I don't go back. I knew I wasn't going to work. So my sisters are nurses, and then I was a nursing assistant. So I know what you about to go through, George. So, and then I took a backdoor exam. They gave me the hookup. I was an LPN, and I did a couple of open mics. You know, a friend of mine gave me $50, bet me I wouldn't get on stage for 3 minutes, and I did.
That happens that way.
A guy, I didn't have no jokes. I was just energetic. And the guy gave me $250. He offered me $250 to do 5 minutes at a hair show while they tally up the score. And I quit my job the next day. and
you were good for that, weren't you?
Yeah, but in my family, you don't be quitting jobs. My sister told my mother said, I heard you quit your job. What you doing? And my sister said, he a clown. I said, I'm a comedian, Mom. She said, ain't no pension plan and no comedian. You need some insurance. You need I went, and George knows, and she knows, we went poor. I went real poor, and then Comic View came out, and I got Comic View, and then went up from there.
Wow.
There's very few comics out there.
Ross is on Facebook, Roz, I guess it is, and I think it's Roz, and said Tony Roberts is so handsome, and he's even better up close and personal.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We got blind.
I love working with him.
We got blind people calling in. We got blind people calling in. But you see why there's so many comedians out there. There's a few comedians I call my son. This is one of my real sons.
He always called. He hit me out of nowhere. He hit me like every other month, every few months. Hey, son, what you doing?
Oh.
You're doing something stupid, ain't you? Just say something. But you know what? She said Red Fox. A lot of people, their favorite comics are like, you know, I got the one-liner comics in my favorites. I got a poster of Red Fox in my man cave. Robin Harris, George Wallace. Those guys with the one-liners, I followed them. I mimicked them. And if you've seen me on stage before, I'm just popping them.
And the fact of the matter, you brought up Red Fox. That's my first ball, Sybil. When I got to Los Angeles, I worked for Red Fox. I was a writer for the Red Fox show. Right
I was going to ask
really?
you about that connection. So is that did you all have you and Miss Sylvia have a connection then at that point, or was it?
I've never seen that black lady in my life. I just met her 2 years ago.
That's right, George. It's been 2 years now.
I met her in Las Vegas and I flipped out. And then I said she was so good. She was with Monique. Remember, Monique was on our show and she was talking about Miss Sylvia?
Yeah, she sure was. Yeah.
And I knew she lived in Washington, D.C. I had a big show in Washington, D.C. I said, she opened for me.
He did. He brought me up. And speaking of Tony, when you were talking about you have the one-liners, when I first got into the Comedy Store in LA, because it was brand new. It was like, shucks, you're too old. At any rate, I was in line with people like Jay Leno, David Letterman. We were all just starting out.
Crazy.
And Robin Williams was my hero at the time, because he would always say, you know what, Sylvia, one day you're going to be big. You're going to be big. You're going to be big. You know, and it was like, he had no idea that he was going to go to where he was going.
Sure.
So there we were all, you know, and all of a sudden, it was so hard for a Black female. It's like everybody was shocked that Mitzi, who ran the company, George, I know you know this. Mitzi saw me. She let me on stage. Mitzi Shore for 3 minutes, and in 3 minutes, I can't believe it. I got a standing ovation, and she called me over.
What did that feel like?
At the time, I didn't even realize that going forward, my career would consist of me wondering if I did not get a standing ovation. What did I do wrong? Because you know, it would be like I'd go. The first night I traveled with Whitney, we did 23 cities together. My first night, I didn't get a standing ovation, and I was absolutely devastated. I'm sorry, my second night, because I opened for her at the Warner Theater in D.C.
Wow.
And it was just amazing. And she said, you know what? When I go on the road, I'm gonna take you with me.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna take you with me. And she did. So we did 23 cities, and of those 23 cities, 22 nights They were strong standing ovations. So
wow.
Whitney was my hero.
So did you do Whitney in your act? And
There you go,
open
Sybil.
to her?
There you go.
You know what? I didn't.
Hell no, she was scared. She was.
And she, you know what? She used to ask me all the time, "When are you going to do me? I mean, when are you going to do me?"
I know.
I just know when you're going to do me. And I had been instructed by her people
Yes.
not to do her
Exactly.
on stage.
That's
And
crap.
it
You
was like-
serious?
Yeah.
The management protects the opening the headliner always. Don't do her. Don't do her. Don't do her. Yeah.
And
That's
she's
right.
asking you, when are you going to do her? And
and they're telling me, no, you can't do her.
Right.
And that happened to me with a couple of people. Like they told me, don't mention Shaka Khan's name, don't mention Stephanie Mills's name. Every time I'd go out with somebody, they would say, no, don't do it. But when I got with Monique, she loved it. She wanted me to do my whole show in her voice.
You do Monique? You can't do Monique.
Hey, sugar, let me tell you something right now.
Oh my gosh, she sound like Monique. Just like
you know what I'm saying, sugar. Okay, babies. Sybil, I just want to thank you, sugar, for having me on.
Don't stop.
Do Monique and Precious. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. Who you talking to?
Well, you know what? When Whoopi Goldberg and Monique got together, Mo told me about a conversation she had with Whoopi Goldberg. This is basically how the conversation went.
Right.
Hey, Mo. Hey, Whoopi. Let me ask you something, my sister. Let me just ask you this. What does it feel like to be the host on The View? Let me just say this. Let me just say this. I've been hosting on The View now for 13 years. 13 years. And I wouldn't go nowhere. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh my God.
Now, what about when they see you and like I know that you do a great Wendy Williams too. Have you gotten reactions
You do Wendy Williams?
from girls like that?
You do Wendy Williams?
You do Wendy? Oh my God.
How you doing? Okay. Just 1 minute. Just 1 second. Okay. I'm so sick of people just always asking me questions to just draw on people. And Kevin,
Yeah.
how you doing? Okay.
How you doing?
I can't imagine if you would have put a wig on. If you would have put a wig on.
Tony, share.
I could do George Wallace.
Okay.
You're so stupid. It makes me sick.
Oh my God.
You look like you would have dressed for the show, Tony. It looked like you to put on something decent.
I like it. I like the sporty look.
Don't you see all of us look good with some decent clothes on? You look like shit. You look like shit.
And that's how he speaks to his son.
Oh my God.
I know, that's why I do it. That's my dad.
That's what a daddy would say. That's what Don't you see all those other people dressed? And you come there, you look like shit. You making the family look bad. Sybil, go ahead. These are some great. You know
what? We need to talk about some news because that's what we do. But I got to tell you, Dr. Traymore Morrison, they are loving you. They are absolutely. Everybody is absolutely loving you.
She is
Thank
phenomenal.
you.
We're gonna, but I do want to get your thoughts on a couple of things. What we do here is talk about the news from an African American perspective, and of course that's something that I learned from Tom Joyner, and we. Like I say every day, we try to super serve the African American community, and that's what we have done with our newsletter over the last year and a half. And so, if you would Ms. Traymore Morrison and Tony, if you both would subscribe to our newsletter, we really appreciate it. It's absolutely free.
It's free, y'all.
It'll be in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. And we talk about all the things political. We talk some health and wellness, and we talk social justice and
sports, entertainment.
We do a little bit of that too, George. Yeah, absolutely. And so I would ask you that you do subscribe to that. One of the things that we do talk about, obviously, every day for the last year and a half, we have had an article, we have a section devoted to the coronavirus. We started, and to our executive producers' credit, we started out talking about the coronavirus back in January of 2020. And so we have, so now today in our What's Really Going On segment, we're talking about the new updated vaccine and mask mandates. And so, the president was on, he's talking about, and as George has noted, he's going to go get another vaccine because now they're going to start paying people again to get the vaccines. He's going to go for number 3, probably one in each arm.
One in each arm. There you go. Now you be thinking. I'm going to get one in the ass too.
Okay, all right. Okay,
his shot going to come in the glass.
Tony, you.
I love this kid. Go ahead, keep it.
So vaccines and mask mandates have changed again. They're telling people to wear them inside if you, even if you are vaccinated. The kids going back to school, and some of the schools say no, school board systems or say you don't have to wear your mask, and parents are sending their kids to school with masks and things like that. So the question of the day, I'm asking you, and I'm asking for those who are watching and listening today. Are you clear on the new mandates? Are you confused?
No, we're not.
And do you care? Or will you wear?
I have to tell you guys, Sybil, the first week of October of last year, I got COVID and pneumonia at the same time. And I cannot begin to tell people how sick I was. It was so bad. It was. I know you asked the question, but I wanted to get that in there to let you know
I'm glad.
where I am, because it was so horrible that I not only thought I was going to die, I kind of wanted to go because I couldn't bear the sickness. I could not. It was so just ugly. It was nasty. It was ugly. It was wicked. It was all of that. And if someone had offered me the vaccine at that time, as sick as I was, I would have immediately held the arm up, because I can never do that again. I'm not trying to get people to take the vaccine. I'm not trying to get them to not take the vaccine. I'm just letting you know, any mandates that they have, as far as I'm concerned, I'm in, because I cannot afford to have that again. I have both my shots. I'm going to get the 3rd one, the 4th one, the 5th one, and the 6th one. Yeah, I'm going hard. I'm going hard on those vaccines.
Yeah.
February, me and my 12-year-old son, we came up positive. My wife and my 2 daughters, they didn't have nothing. But me and my son didn't have any symptoms. But I took it upon myself. Me and him went down the street to the Marriott and stayed in the Marriott for like 6-7 days. And just to stay away from the family. But we were sitting in there. We didn't have a sniffle or nothing.
Wow.
I still got both shots. I still got both shots. But I must have been exposed to it, and it came up positive. But my body fought it off because I didn't have any. But I still
good
believe
immune
in the shot.
system.
You have a great system, and you were asymptomatic, and so you were in your sign up apparently.
Because my house is my wife. If you know my wife, she is boot camp queen. She is amino acids. She's vitamin C, D, E, F, G, protein, water. She got me drinking a gallon of water a day. Yesterday I had to pee on the way to pee. I'm too old for that. But we constantly do stuff to build our immune system.
And so, George, you are as devoted to this topic as our guests are today, because George secluded himself very early on, got the shots as soon as he could, and you were one of those people, George, that just said, "I'm going to just go to my home in Atlanta and stay there."
I went there because I went to the CDC, and I just determined today the CDC stands for an acronym. Can't decide, can you? So
at the side, can you?
Listen, I went, Sybil, it sounds stupid, but I didn't want to tell anybody. I went to Atlanta because I figured, with this COVID disease, I said, I'm going to go to Atlanta because that's where the CDC is located. Mm-hmm. And if they can diagnose Ebola, they can take care of COVID. So that's why I went there. I thought I'd be closer to the center. Mm-hmm. But now to say that, to say this, the spike is back. I'm just cut off yesterday, Sybil. I cut off yesterday. I'm not going back into the club. Lunel, just positive. So I said, I can hold off another month or two. I had already said to everybody, let's see what happens 2 weeks after 4th of July. Mm-hmm. Well, now this is 2 weeks after 4th of July. So there's a spike in every city, and especially the dumb cities. And I'm going to cool it for a while. I can wait another month.
I don't know if you guys know, but there is a report of 64,000 new cases every day.
Oh, God.
I heard 70,000, which is even same thing. That's
yeah.
Amazing.
Well, the mayor of DC just announced earlier that we are going back to mandating masks are absolutely necessary. You have to wear them, and I'm like, I have no problem with it. I have not one problem with it.
I was talking last night, George, as you mentioned, we sent out our get well wishes to Lunel, who has tested positive for SARS, which is a part of the COVID family, right? And so I was talking with Sherry Shepard, and she was asking, and I said, I have gotten to the point where I double mask when I go out.
Sure.
And so she said, well, how do you double mask? And I said, well, with oxygen, I do okay. And so they're like, oh my God, and I was kidding, but I will do whatever it takes. I got the shots. I will. There you go, George. Yeah.
My thing is we got the one virus. You know how strong it is for some people, and I think it's your body can fight it off. If you got any type of third-party illness, it's really going to attack it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got one country, the same virus, but different governors have different mandates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It should be one America should say, we doing
this.
But
you got your stupid governors and you got your thinking governors. You got your now I'm going to do a whole bit on there's something wrong with the people in the South. I even spell Texas. I now spell Texas TEKKKSAS.
I spell Texas TEKKK.
It's all of these Southern people. The Southern people trying to outdome each other. If you look at Georgia, well, the 5 states right now are what? Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And these are dumb states in the South. I said it. Yeah. If you're smart, I'm not talking to you.
I did New Year's Eve in Tampa, and me and my wife was the only one with the mask on.
Get out of here.
Crowded.
Yeah.
We was.
Listen, in Atlanta, I saw a line out of the door for a nightclub, and it was us, black people. Mm-hmm. And one girl had a mask on, but she had it over her private part. She was wearing it as a skirt. It was over. She had it over her coochie. I can say that. She had. Shut up.
That's where the virus at. That's where the virus at.
Did it cover everything, George?
She had it over her coochie. I swear to God, and I'm just going. These kids, it's going to come back on them. Now who's getting sick? The young people.
Yeah. In my hometown of Chicago this weekend, they're doing Lollapalooza. They're expecting hundreds of thousands of people over the 4-day weekend.
Don't go.
And I did. I my goddaughters, and I said, you please tell me you're not going. And their dad said, hell no, they're not going. Because remember, we're taking them up to Wisconsin. So they really have a difficult time getting out of Chicago.
But you got people they're against the vaccine.
And against them,
it's not a cure. And a lot of people, what do you think? What's most of the reasons why people are against the vaccine? Is it because the government came up with it?
That's a lot of it.
That's a lot of for us.
For us, here's the crazy thing, George and Sylvia and Tony. We all know someone who said, "Oh, I'm not taking the vaccine because of the Tuskegee experiment."
Right.
Exactly. That's what they bring up. And they're trying to keep track of you. What you doing? You ain't doing nothing with your life. They don't care about what you're doing. Get the vaccine.
All the other stuff we have put in our bodies over the years.
Yes, right.
Well, one of the things that I was quite pleased with is not pleased, but I mean, I recognize that the whole world has it. Is dealing with. It's not just us here in America. Right. It's the whole wide world.
Yes.
I don't know about that because it may be the whole wide world, but our numbers here are greater than the whole wide world. Even he kept saying the China virus. Well, in Hong Kong and those places, some of them have like 5,000 cases. How the hell does it was invented here or created here and you got 5,000, 6,000 cases? Of course, they always wear the mask in Asia.
For years.
Right.
You know.
For years.
But it's been going on 17 months.
Only
from China. Don't nothing last this long from China. Even that T-shirt that say "Made in China" in the back. Wash it one time. You're gonna be the proud owner of a halter top.
Nothing. Hey, Tony. Even the chopsticks, they will break on your ass. They don't chop shit in the first place. Who made chopsticks? They don't chop shit. That's a lie. Chopsticks.
Don't chop nothing in the first place.
Chopstick. It's all allowed in Asia. The fortune cookie is a lie.
Tony's looking up like. Really, Dad?
Yeah.
But you're right.
Hey, look at the fortune cooker. Here's a guy sweating his ass off, making 16 cents an hour in the kitchen there, just making fortune cookies, and he knows what the lucky numbers are. Give me a damn break. He knows what the lucky numbers.
He knows what the numbers are, but he's still in the kitchen.
Right.
You stupid, man. You stupid.
Wait a minute, 17 months, Tony. I never even, that's a long time.
Oh yeah.
And you know what trips me out is I often think someone had made a maybe I need to had said that even in 17 months, if we had all just stayed in for 2 weeks. If everybody had just stayed, we would have never had all of this going on.
Better than that. If dumbass had said in January 15, when he first found out, if dumbass had said, put your mask on, stay in the house, we could have been down none of these numbers.
He knew.
But he wanted us to try alcohol and
bleach,
cleaning fluid.
Yeah.
He's a cracker.
How about people around you, Dr. Sylvia and Tony? As you said, your wife is, ultra clean and keeps in masking. Are you finding that as a result of your experiences, having been diagnosed, having suffered through it, are you finding that people are respectful of you and wearing the mask and continuing?
Yeah.
Me too. My family is my oldest sister. Johnny Mae decided to have the shots done because
that's just a country ass name right there.
I was waiting.
I had to say it.
You got Johnny Mae.
I knew that's the name. That's the name that makes syrup.
But you know what? She got her shots because of my experience. She knows that I'm just not a sickly type, sit in the house, don't do anything person, and the virus took me for so bad. I wrote a book about it. It's called Me, Satan, God, and COVID-19 because all four of us were in the room together.
Hold the book up. You got the book with you?
Yeah, I do.
Buy your book.
Oh, great. As a matter of fact, let me get it.
Yeah.
Right.
She say Lula Jean. That was her sister's name?
No, Johnny Mae.
Johnny Mae.
How about that?
Tony, but she does have a sister named Lula Jean.
Satan, God, and COVID-19.
Oh yeah.
All four of us were in the room together, and Tony, I'm so glad that you didn't have to suffer.
Yeah.
Because my suffering, and I'll make it quick, Sybil. I was in the bed one night. I had been laying on this side for about 18 hours because I was down for 14 days, and I wanted to turn over, and it took me like a half hour to turn over. And again, I'm gonna really try to get through this quickly. I saw a dress of mine in the bed. I don't know if COVID had me psycho or what it did,
what it did,
hallucinating or whatever it was. But in front of the dress was this big giant ball of black gook. It was like shiny and it had looked like elbows and fingers were pointing through it. Oh, it was bad. It was horrible.
Cocaine to do that to you.
No. It was
black. It was cocaine or COVID.
It was black. But anyway, I didn't want to turn back over because I wanted to see what this horror was. Why is it in my bed and it was.
Oh my God.
I think your book would be selling more if you came on the cover with this on.
I think when you have God, Satan, COVID, and yourself in the title, that's
deep.
Pretty intense.
Yeah. So because I wanted people to know my experience. So if they even
can I get the book?
How can they get the book?
You can get it on Amazon, or if you contact me, I can send you an autographed copy.
Okay,
and I'm on Cash App. 50 years for Sylvia, $ 50 years for Sylvia, or Amazon. But if you want it autographed, I got you. This is one of three.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, because if you go to Amazon, you're gonna be sponsoring spaceships.
Right?
As if. Here we go with our What You Need to Know newsletter and some of the articles that we talked about. First of all, looking towards tomorrow for people who are renters, Saturday is the expiration date for the moratorium on evictions. If the Congress does not take action between now and Saturday, 6 million people could be out on the streets as a result of this eviction moratorium not being lifted. By the same token, our first story in today's newsletter talks about the student loan debt.
Yes.
And how it is so possible for people to have the up to $50,000 eliminated by just the signing of the president's name on an executive order.
Wow.
Do it.
He has
the
to do it.
fact we got so many people that don't want to even go to school, continue their career, trying to be something. For people to go to college and make it through college and trying to do something in the society, not that debt, let them go. Let them go. We're already going through rough times. Let them. That's the least of our worries.
Well, we should have free education anyways.
That's what I was going to say too. You're right. You're right.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Sylvia, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I've always been disturbed about that because it seems like the other people get the scholarships because they go to the best schools, they have the best teachers, according to them, and they earn scholarships to go to college for free
because they got to hook up.
Exactly.
And their names go a long way. Yeah. And the president has said that he wants to build back better this country, and he wants to keep the Black middle class as a part of this build back better economy and picture that he has. Well, what better way than to eliminate this $50,000? And it's a good first step for a lot of people, and for Black people who owe twice as much in their student loans as white people do, if not more, George.
Yeah.
And then they don't have the good jobs that pay as much either.
And then there's that. And then
they're talking about trillions of dollars, talking about just paying people, sending money through the mail. Just sign the bill. Sign the bill to donate the student.
That's what he's going to do. We're going to do that.
He says it will take a congressional action, but the leading Democrats in the House and the Senate said, no, sir, it won't. All you need to do is sign an executive order.
That's what they say. Yes.
Yeah.
I would want to respond to George, but I get so tickled when he responds before you get a chance to do the whole respond to him. I laugh so hard I don't even get a chance to finish. I love George Wallace.
We do. And George has an opinion on everything, which is so great.
No, I don't. They say I talk a lot, Sylvia. They say I talk a lot, and I never say anything.
George. Let me talk about something that affects.
You better hurry up. I'm looking at the clock. This is amazing.
I know. I want to talk about something that affects a lot of Black women, and this is Johnson & Johnson baby powder. Our friend Ben Crump has now, on behalf of the National Council of Negro Women, has filed a lawsuit against Johnson & Johnson because they knew, like the president knew back in January of last year, this company knew about the talc in the talcum powder that could lead to and create ovarian cancer in women, and especially marketed towards Black and Hispanic women and overweight and Black and Hispanic women. Because Lord knows we've all had our memas and mothers and everything else who use that baby powder. And interestingly enough, it does lead to ovarian cancer. And so there has been civil lawsuits and there have been agreements, but Ben Crump is coming back with the National Council of Negro Women to file this lawsuit on behalf of Black women.
Continue on your conversation, but I want y'all to know, you ladies don't know this, but we men put baby powder on our balls too.
Is that so much the information I didn't need to know?
It just made mine numb. I'll keep it around.
Use baby powder too.
Yeah,
well, I remember when Johnson & Johnson first came out with that talcum powder, but it was like it would cake on the babies. It would cake up on the babies, and then they suggested that women start using it. And I don't know. Well, it must be because they have a big lawsuit coming out.
Yep.
So
did it say what the percentage of?
You know what? I had that number, Tony, and I can go back and get it for you. I don't have it.
There's billions of people that used it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the ratio?
And all of these people, all of these women who died from this and didn't know.
Right. Oh my!
Just think about the countless number of women that died and from ovarian cancer and didn't know about the connection.
The PR department at Johnson & Johnson must be going crazy. They caught hell with the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now they got the baby powder.
Yeah.
And Johnson & Johnson. I hope they don't do nothing with this. Because
I know you still, look at you. Upgrade. You usually use cooking oil. He went from cooking oil to the real oil. Look at you.
He went off. He took it off his grandma's stove, huh? Look at you, George Wallace.
Don't take it any further. Don't take it any further than that, okay, Tony? Leave it alone.
You know what's so wonderful about
where's my back scratcher?
Oh God. Yes, Miss Sylvia.
Now I was saying what's so wonderful about this particular show, because I've been watching. I watched Ali, and of course I saw the Monique show. But what's so wonderful about this show right now for me is I'm listening to all three of you, and the three of you have very distinctive characteristics to easily be imitated. So if I ever get invited back, I'm bringing Tony.
Oh man, that's gonna
Sybil,
be crazy.
And I'm bringing George.
How soon can you do that? Because we can make that happen. Give us a date, and the four of us will be here. The three of us will be here, Sylvia. That's a guarantee. You do it 2 weeks and 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks and 2 weeks. I almost called an executive shot, Sybil. This is so good. I said, I wanted to say, can we bring them back next week? They're so good. It's such a wonderful atmosphere. But next week it's going to be something really, really special, y'all. I can't tell you what it is.
What is this? Chopped liver?
This is special.
Hello.
This is special.
And I said it in your damn face too.
I was about to tell the story when I heard you say on the show I think it was last week, Sybil, you said that George had gone for his birthday. He had gone out to dinner with his best friend and his daughter. And the best friend is Jerry Seinfeld. And I didn't know that he was, Ali had said George was trying to drop names or something he was saying.
Right.
All you got to do is say my best friend if you're George Wallace, and it's Jerry Seinfeld. And just to piggyback on that, George, when I was first starting out, there was a club in New York called Catch a Rising Star.
Yes.
And Jerry Seinfeld was the host. We didn't know about him. Nobody knew about Jerry Seinfeld. He's the only person in my career at that time that allowed me 3 minutes on stage. So how delighted was I to learn that you and Jerry are best friends?
46 years. 46 years.
My goodness.
Roommates for 13 years. I love to do this joke. Roommate for 13 years. I was best man in his wedding. I'm the father of his kids. I love to do that joke.
Tony, did you?
But this is my best friend. I can't tell you. I could go on and on. When you have a best friend, now yoga is that to Sybil. Jerry's that to me. We just cannot live without each other. That's all there is to it. Can you guys?
What about the dude that came up with the penny? I thought you liked him too. Y'all was best friends. The guy that came up with the penny, George said, you know what? That's gonna be something.
Tony, that's gonna be something. Tony, I am old. I'm so old, Tony. I remember when telephone numbers not only had numbers, but they had a name. Like Jackson.
He's right. I'm sorry.
Jackson 6, Trinity 7, Jackson 5. Sybil, you don't remember this, do you?
Tony, you're from Detroit. You had a number before your phone number, right?
What?
What was it?
8.
No.
No, he doesn't know.
You didn't have a name before
An exchange
your number? Because ours was Beverly 8.
Tony, you don't know about
No. Damn, I can't remember. I know that.
Well, hey, Sybil, there ain't much has ever happened. Ain't much has ever happened in Detroit, so he can't come up with anything.
Okay.
I was in Detroit last week, Tony. I bought 15 houses, $35. Go ahead.
That is just OC.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. You can buy 15 houses for $35 in Detroit.
You see it all the time. You see somebody sitting on the porch with no house behind him.
What did you say? Sitting on the porch with no house behind.
Easily.
Let me just wrap up our news segment because the one thing that I really am enjoying doing this week and next week I will as well is talking about the Black athletes who are in the Olympics. We've had a number of really great stories. Of course, everyone knew about Simone Biles before this week, obviously, but this week she has made even more news, and we salute her for taking care of herself and setting an example for the young people that will follow behind her. And one of those is this young man who is 17 years old. 17. Yes, he's going to be running in the 200 meters, and his name is Arion. He's from Tampa, Florida. And he is so fast that he has already beaten Usain Bolt's record for 15 and under.
Wow.
I know he was 17.
17. He's going into his senior year of high school.
He also has a sister named Johnny May.
And a bottle of oil.
I'm not going to talk after this.
My sister Johnny May is going to she's watching. I know she's watching. She watches every show I'm on. She is loving all of this right now.
When Simone Biles backed out, I said, she's doing this for a reason. She's going to let that other young girl win. She already won. Yes. She knows how good this girl is. That's what I thought, but I couldn't say anything because it sounded stupid. I don't know whether it's true, but
George,
it worked out.
It makes a lot more sense than those idiots like Piers Morgan and others who have come out for her and called her selfish and ignorant and all that with their ignorant comments.
They did that. Wait a second, the governor of Texas.
No, it was the
Attorney General,
Deputy Attorney General, and Piers Morgan amongst others, and but she has really shown, and these young women, they came to win, and she said, "Okay, go do it." And the young woman, she's going to start college as soon as she finishes this, and she walks away with the gold.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wonderful. Good for her.
And it is good, isn't it?
George's gonna be in there in 4 years. He's gonna be when they bring up sleeping.
No, it's not. I'm gonna be in a wheelchair. It's gonna be me and Governor Abbott. Is that his name?
Oh my God!
I said it.
That is the Texas governor. Yes, you're right. That is
Governor Abbott. Can y'all come back in a month? You two.
Please have me back.
I would love to. I've had a ball. I'm
gonna have the same setup Sybil got. I want the flowers, the plants, and the curtains. Sybil, is that your high school picture back there?
I'm wearing a George Wallace hat when I come back. I'm gonna have on my George Wallace hat. That is funny, Tony.
Speaking of items, Dr. Sylvia, people want your Cash App information again.
Oh, it's $, the number 50.
Okay.
Years for Sylvia. And my autobiography is available as well as the
Is there an easier way they could go to an address, an email address? Is there an easier way they can just do it?
Because George is having difficulty with the whole Cash App thing.
Okay, it's sylviatraymore@gmail.com. And my name is spelled down here. The producers of your show are awesome, Sybil. Look at that. They got my whole name down.
It was my mistake to leave out Morrison, but they got it there. They are smart people. They're the best. The producers of the show are the best. Thank you so much.
So Sylvia.
And Tony, what's your third name? We know you got one. Tony Roberts, the young man, Tony Roberts.
I hate to say my middle name. I don't like it.
What is it?
Davion or May? Is it May?
I'm old school. It's Tyrone.
Oh, okay.
When people say Tony Tyrone, sound like a pimp.
Hey, Tony, you should go with Johnny May. Tony, Johnny May Roberts.
Giving them some ideas there, George?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is so
George
hilarious.
is stupid, man.
Tony, how can people find you? What's your social media?
At
handle?
Tony T. Roberts across the board. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, everything's Tony T. Roberts. At Tony T. Roberts. Go follow me. I'm about to shoot my 4th 1 hour special this October.
Are you working anywhere soon, Tony? Are you working anywhere?
Yeah,
Tony?
every weekend I'm out. I can't name all the cities.
Well, name one of them.
Okay.
Your ass ain't working. You just making up shit.
I'm in LA. If you're in LA, I'm in the comedy festival in LA. The next day I'm in the Paramount in Oakland.
Okay, that's a nice theater.
Yes, I'm headed to Killeen, Texas. I got Chicago. I'm doing Sweetest Day.
Oh,
they just showed every crowd. We had the third show. Okay. They sold out 2 shows. The third show is over half sold already.
Wear your mask, okay?
Awesome.
Sylvia, you working anywhere?
I have been handed the script to the one-woman play, The Return of Jackie Moms Mabley. And and I also get to show 7 other iconic women who came up at the same time. For example, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Nancy, all of these women and I love Sarah Fitzgerald because she was the scat queen, and I get to tell you about how scatting is rapping and rapping is scatting.
You got history lessons.
That's crazy.
Oh,
so I'm so excited about that. And George, I think I'm going to be with you in Vegas September the 4th. For the AHA Awards.
Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Really they want.
Hey, Tony, hang on to that thought.
Tony, you got to send your mom.
I want to also have Dr. Sylvia give her books there.
Look at that.
Yeah, I like those.
Oh, Sybil, I love you guys. Look at that. The first one is with my hair down in the green suit. That's my autobiography. I talk about my early days, how I got started, the horrors that I went through as a Black woman.
I want that book.
And yeah, it's quite a. The second one, Jelly Beans from Heaven, is about. It was given to me on stage. I was at a church with about, I guess, 1,900 people, and this story came to me, and it's about Lena Horne, who, when Whitney died, she went to heaven. Well, it's a result of that show, and Whitney gets up to heaven, and Lena Horne is her mentor, and hey, baby, welcome to heaven. We've been waiting on you for quite a while.
Oh my!
And of course, me, Satan, God, and COVID-19. And you can get them all on Amazon. But if you'd like, hit me up at sylviatraymore@gmail.com, and I'll sign it for you. How about that?
Well, I'm going to get them all, and I'm going to send them to you and have you sign them. Absolutely.
Well, I had you on the show. Send it to me. I ain't paying shit for nothing.
George, I've been waiting on 2 of your books now since just 2 of them.
Just 2 of them.
That one, yes. I've been waiting on 2 of them. Paid my money and ain't seen nothing yet. So
Dr. Sylvia, are you on social media?
I am Sylvia Traymore Morrison or Sylvia T. Morrison. I don't know which belongs to which, but if you put it in there, it'll come up. I'm on Facebook.
I've been looking you up all day.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying social media? Do you have fun with it?
Oh my God! I bugged George about a poster for this show because I like to share. I know I have quite a few people, hopefully, that have either watched this because they love Tony, and of course, you and George are both icons. So yeah, I'm having.
You heard that, didn't you, Tony? We are icons. With your punk ass. With your punk ass.
That stands for in the coffin.
But I hope you guys will. I gotta say this again. Please feel free to keep up with me so that I can give you the details for the return of Jackie Moms Mabley.
Yes.
We're opening at the Howard Theater in Washington, D.C.
Awesome.
But we don't have a date yet because we were supposed to start before the pandemic.
Sure.
And we got shut down.
Sure.
We're going to the Apollo, then on to the MGM and on the National Harbor, and then to the Apollo Theater.
Oh my God!
I'm getting ready to really enjoy my career as a result of the ladies that I'm going to do. But
I'm doing my first movie called Not So Fast. My tooth is loose.
Did you just make that up?
Oh my God!
No, I really wrote a movie and shot it. It's called Not So Fast. My tooth is loose.
Speaking of movies, don't want to change the subject, but Will Smith and the Williams sisters, how about that coming out? Will Smith and the Williams
sisters.
I've
seen the preview.
Are you in it, George?
Of course I am.
Are you Mr. Williams' father?
Yes. Make sure you watch it, okay?
Oh, Sybil, Monique just sent me a note and she says she's enjoying the show. So
I love
she's
Monique. That's my
Well,
girl.
that makes sense.
because honestly, if it wasn't for Monique and George, because Monique was on your show and she started talking about me, and it was so sweet because you sat there and just listened, and she went on, and George picked up. He went on, and Sybil was like, "Wait a minute, y'all, I got a show I got to do. We're gonna talk about Sylvia."
Because when we get off on, I try to go with it because it is,
Right.
my producer is keeping us on time, but I love conversations like that, and I love to learn something every day, and so following your career and listening to George, you really got your nerve.
The yogi said,
We can take him out if you like. Yeah, I know.
don't make me take my teeth out, come bite you. My teeth will come out, come bite you.
I thought those was eggs.
Not so
those
fast.
teeth.
Got a loose tooth. So I just want to thank you so much for all that you have done,
Thank you.
Dr. Sylvia, and for blessing us tonight. It really has been a wonderful opportunity. I hope you will come back.
It would be an honor.
I'm so glad I was
really
on the
would
show
be.
with you. I don't know what to do.
The both of you are so great. I feel so good inside. Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna have a smile. I'm gonna have a smile.
Well, but and I got one last thing to say, and I won't say anything else. I know we got to wrap it up. But when George walked into, we were in Vegas, and I was on Monique's Resident. When he walked in the club, I just couldn't even move because I've always been such a huge fan. And he sat right where I looked directly in his face. So by the time I did Michelle Obama and Mrs. Melania Trump and that crew, George was practically out of his seat laughing. And it made Vegas for me. It made Vegas for me. And then he invited me to do the show with him in the DC area. So it was
Las Vegas too. You will be coming to Las Vegas. You're gonna put somebody out of work. And you told me y'all gonna put somebody out of work, but y'all will be coming to Las Vegas. And it's gonna be a hell of a show, Sybil. I gotta tell you, the new show is gonna be G&G Las Vegas.
Oh, nice. 10G. Okay, George.
10G.
G&G.
Oh,
and George, thank you for keeping your promise, because you said, I'm going to talk to Sybil about bringing you on the show. So Sybil, thank you.
I didn't talk to her. I just told her she's going to be on there.
No, that's the way it works, Miss Sylvia. That's, just
show him, George. Show him. Take
it's an honor
George.
to finally meet Tony in person. I mean, virtually in person. And
are you in DC? You live in DC?
I'm just thrilled about this show. I just love it, Sybil.
Dr. Morrison, you live in DC?
I do. Mm-hmm.
January 1st, I'm at Constitutional Hall.
Oh, nice.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm in Constitutional Hall January 1st.
I'm coming to see you.
You got to, please. I'm into your social media.
Don't make her pay for a ticket, Tony. Don't make her pay for a ticket.
No.
Okay. Don't do a George Wallace.
Give me Yogi's Jewels, please.
Look at you, George.
I gotta write that down. Tony gonna be January 1st.
Yogi's Jewels. That's what you're talking about. Yogi's Jewels.
Yep. That's
right. Oh, you're talking about Tony at Constitution Hall.
No, we're talking. This is how we end every show.
When they gonna change the name of that place? The Confederates? Is this the Confederate Daughters?
That's
crazy. That's why you're playing, Tony. The Confederate Daughters Constitution Hall.
Daughters of the American Revolution. That's what it is. Constitution Hall. Daughters of the American. Yeah. Tony, that's gonna be awesome.
Well, I don't know what they call it. I know my landlord sending me. I don't care what they call it. They better call it my check.
And we thank Mrs. Tony for doing that. Absolutely.
Well, you better go in a hurry, because that eviction notice is going to be over next month. So you better do it in a hurry.
I'm just going to leave before we all leave. I just want to leave you all with Yogi's Jewels today. To be inspired feels good. To inspire is everything. And that has been tonight's show.
Like that.
You all have done that. Thank you.
And I'm George Wallace. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, because my love for you does not require your permission.
Woo! That's a t-shirt.